Thank you. First, Madam Chair, I'd like to say this is the first hearing I've been to since I've been here that I've heard sequestration spoken of positively. So I appreciate it.
I'd be happy to speak about it negatively in the other sense.
That's the other. Let's keep it on the positive. Right. Also, Mr. Secretary, I have to compliment you. I once heard an official in Washington characterized as being at the highest level where they still know anything. You are above that level, but I don't think I've ever seen a witness with a better grasp of policy, but also the detail of the budget that you've exhibited here today. And I really want to thank you for what I'm sure was significant preparation and work to grasp what's going on. That's the essence of leadership, and I want to thank you for that. Second thing I want to say is I don't think your budget's big enough. I did some calculations. Your research and development, the sort of energy and science part is about $10 billion. That's 1% of our total discretionary budget. It's 0.2% of the total federal spending. And just to give an example, the federal support for the development of the fracking technology has produced benefits that are just immeasurable in terms of our society. Lower energy prices are enormously important. 21% of the average family budget goes to energy. And a $1 drop in the price of gasoline saves American taxpayers $138 billion a year. It's like a gigantic tax cut. It's over $1 billion a year in my state of Maine. So I don't think we're spending enough on research and development, and all we've got to do is point to the experience of the support for fracking over 30 years, which has brought us to this energy boom that we're enjoying today. So the work you're doing with Tesla, for example, on batteries, the work you're doing on carbon sequestration, the work you're doing on baseload research, storage, all of those are enormously important, way beyond the rather small level of federal support. So put me down as saying let's keep going with the research and development. I think it's an essential federal function that this department has done well over the years. I'm going to submit a series of questions for the record on things like offshore energy, which I think is very important, wind and tidal. One thing I do want to touch on is nuclear waste storage. And as you know, we've been through a long period, 50, 60, 70 years of not figuring out what to do with nuclear waste. I understand there's a company based in Dallas, waste control specialist, that is looking toward at least an intermediate level storage. That would be a big improvement. We've now got what amount to 100+ high-level nuclear storage sites all over the country, one of which is in Maine, and we'd like to get rid of that stuff. So is this a priority to work toward a high-level waste storage facility?
Absolutely. It's a priority to work towards a whole nuclear waste disposal system. Both, and I might add, both from the commercial nuclear power plants and from our own defense waste from the weapons program. The chair, Senator Murkowski, knows, in fact, that last year we worked together with this and the Appropriations Committee leadership to try to advance particularly an initial pilot storage facility. We remain convinced, actually, that moving in this direction of getting a storage facility out there, functioning, move fuel away from reactors would be a very, very good first step, even as we, in parallel, work to develop the geological isolation capability that we absolutely need for the long term. So the answer is yes.
Well, but the other piece, don't forget about transportation and getting it there.
Oh, yes.
Well, find a site, but we also have to figure out how to get it there, and there's a lot of planning involved.
Right, and in fact, I was on the National Academy Committee probably now 10 years ago that did the study on the whole transportation system for nuclear waste. Another advantage, in my view, of getting that kind of storage facility going, whether it's a federal one, which is what we had in mind, or potentially this private sector approach, consent-based process, number one. Number two, it will also, of course, exercise the transportation system, which would be another major step forward.
I'm out of time, but I have to ask one question that I think can get a one-word answer, and that is, can you assure me that in your determination of the national interest when approving LNG exports, that effect on consumer prices is a major factor?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.